13 years ago, I had the most incredible opportunity to donate my kidney to a woman I had never met before. And I have to tell you, it was the greatest experience of my life. But let me tell you the part about prayer. So people, it's a long story about how it happened, and now we're very close, but I had never met her until 2 days before. It's really an incredible story. But I want to fast forward to the day of the surgery itself. And people often ask me, is there ever a time that you ever thought of backing out? And I'm telling you, there was only one time. And a lot of people do back out because there's a lot of social pressure. Like, before you do this, everybody thinks you're crazy and they try to talk you out of it, but it's really coming from their own stuff. Afterwards, you're everybody's hero. But there was one moment where I thought perhaps to back out. And it was the morning of the surgery itself. And remember, I met her at the hospital at 6 a.m. and I was with my very good friend and my daughter, and she was with her husband, and they had to prep me beforehand because I went first. And my husband called, and it was a little bit emotional. And now I followed the nurse, and I thought they were going to put me on a gurney, but we literally walked into where the operating room was, and there was a semi-sterile room before that we were in before we go into the actual operating room. And we go in, and she puts her hand on the door for the operating room, and she goes, "Okay, are you ready?" And I said, hold on, I want to say a prayer." She goes, "Okay." So I knew that before they put me under, I'd have to say Shema. And because it's the last thing you're supposed to say on your lips before you die. And even though the chances were very slim that anything was going to happen, it's really like the same risk you take for an appendectomy, I still needed to say the Shema. And once I went in, I thought I might forget. So she's like, "Okay." So I said the Shema. And the essence of prayer is, what do you want and why do you want it? So what did I want? I wanted to live, and I wanted her to live. And the question was, why? So I really spoke it out with God. And she goes, "Okay, are you ready?" I'm like, "Okay." And I walk in, and I freaked out. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. I thought there'd be a doctor or a nurse, an anesthesiologist. There must have been 35 people in the room. It was this huge room, and there's concave mirrors, and it was very cold to keep everything sterile. And there was a flat table, or a steel table with straps on it that looks like an autopsy is supposed to take place, and I'm supposed to lie down there, and I freaked out, I froze. And I said to myself, "Lori, what are you doing?" And I closed my eyes, and I said to myself, "Just do it, just do it." And I walked over, and I lay down, and the next thing I knew, I was in recovery. I have absolutely no memory of it whatsoever. Now, I want to ask you a favor. I'm not going to ask you to donate your kidney. I am going to ask you to be more of a giver, because givers are happy people, but I'm going to ask you to please to go and to download a certain app. It's called Prayers for Passing. Prayers for Passing. Because there are people who are in hospitals now, and because of the situation, their loved ones or a rabbi cannot be with them, and they don't know the Jewish prayers to say at the end of their life. And also, even after this time, if you're with somebody and they need help, they need to hear those prayers, they need to hear the Shema, they need to hear what they need to say at the end. This app, a doctor, a nurse, a loved one, can just press prayersforpassing.org. Prayersforpassing.org. So go, please download it, and then you can have it on your phone. I hope you never need it, but if you do, you're going to be glad you have it. Thank you.